welcome you to Affiliate Summit East and hope you're enjoying this huge opportunity to learn, to network, and definitely to go home with some great new ideas to try in your own businesses as you leave here. Again, welcome and thank you for attending our session. Our session today is 10 tips to make the most of your affiliate management day. And we're going to start by introducing ourselves. My name is Karen McMahon. I'm known as the Affiliate Whisperer. I've been a publisher since 2004 and an affiliate manager since 2008. I now work as the Affiliate Whisperer, and I help companies go in, companies that are underperforming. We'll go in and help do strategic planning, troubleshooting, anything they need to get back on track, and also to make new and up-and-coming companies be able to be affiliate program ready. So they're in good space for you guys to take it from there. And next.
I'm Amy Ely. I've been in the affiliate industry since late 2005. Been on the network side for companies including advertising.com and Affiliate Window. And then in 2012, I joined Under Armour as the affiliate program manager for the US, Canada, and the UK.
Hi, I'm Kim Salvino. I started as an in-house affiliate manager. I also managed the account management division and the publisher services division for an international affiliate network, and I currently work for a performance marketing agency as director of publisher development.
So let's go on to our agenda. Today, with our 10 tips, we're going to break it into 3 sections. So the first is mastering the fundamentals. These are our must-do daily activities to keep your program running strong and prevent your future challenges. The second section is going to be embracing time management. These are ideas to prevent burnout and also stay ahead of your to-do list. And then section 3, we'll be moving on to talk about ensuring long-term success. This includes making time for relationship building and also forward thinking to move your program forward. So let's get started. We're going to start today with a survey of you guys. We want to know who all is in the audience. So by a show of hands, who's an in-house affiliate manager? Okay.
All right.
Great.
Got a few.
And who are outsourced program managers or agency representatives? Excellent. And do we have any affiliates in the audience? Okay, great. Well, welcome. And let me ask you this also. How long have you guys been affiliate managers? Is this your first year in the business? Okay. And how many people have been doing this for 2 years? 3 to 5 years? And more than 5 years? Excellent. So we've got a great mix in the audience. Mm-hmm. So let's move on to section 1, mastering the fundamentals. And I'm going to turn this over to Kim.
Thank you. So the first hour of my day is basically what I'm going to speak to on the next 3 slides, and they're just some tips that have allowed me to maintain my sanity. From an agency perspective, there's an additional communication step in the process where you have to rely heavily on your advertisers for product information, website updates, and things of that nature. So even with the best efforts of keeping us in the communication loop, we don't always become aware of what's going on or when updates to the websites are made. So my very first tip is actually verifying the basics. And what I do, even before checking email, even before looking at anything else, is go to the advertiser's website to make sure everything is up and running, and that I check it on a couple of different browsers to make sure that everybody's user experience is flowing as it should be. The basic affiliate programs that I manage now are hoteliers, so looking at the website itself isn't enough. I actually have to check also the booking engine. And for retail programs, I also add something to the cart, making sure that the cart functionality is also performing up to expectations. What that does for me is it kind of just sets my mind at ease that everything is okay on the website front, that there isn't any product information that I'm not aware of. Maybe they're releasing something new that day and just forgot to tell me. Also that it's just up and running and that my affiliates aren't going to have any issues with regard to the traffic that they're referring to me. Had an unfortunate circumstance where we were seeing bookings come through, but unfortunately it wasn't to the level of volume that we were used to seeing, and we couldn't quite figure out what was going on. And taking a look at that site really gave me that overview, because what had happened was we could get to the site, could get to the booking engine, everything looked good, but as soon as the calendar of availability for that particular property loaded, they were full for the next 3 months. And so what happened is that the site traffic would see that, have that experience, and then drop off thinking the entire engine wasn't functioning properly. So it was both a customer service issue for the merchant and an issue for my affiliate traffic, because they weren't able to convert as expected. And checking that website allowed us to kind of identify that early on within a 2 or 3 day time frame versus just saying sales are down and we're not quite sure why. So that's just something that I have done just out of habit, and probably a little bit of obsessive compulsive disorder too.
So Kim, you do that every morning,
I
correct?
do.
That's your first thing.
First thing.
Grab your coffee, check your
Right.
checkout.
And to be quite honest, if it, for whatever reason, isn't functioning properly, that does dictate the rest of your day, because all of a sudden now you have this huge to-do item that transposes everything else. So yeah, and if everything is running as expected, it's 3 to 5 minutes maybe at most, and you just move on, check it off, go on to the next thing.
It's also a huge time saver too, because if you find that out, days, weeks later, then you have to figure out how to calculate affiliate commissions and figure out how to pay them, and it can be quite a bit of a mess. So it's definitely a good routine to get into.
And the worst thing is an affiliate telling you it's down. It's your job to make sure that everything is functioning as it should be.
And just as a reminder, a lot of times tech updates on the retailer sites happen overnight. So first thing in the morning, you definitely find some goodies. Sometimes even the site down. So it's always important to check. Okay.
I also review my stats twice a day. This helps me to keep a pulse on the day-to-day activity. I take a look at clicks, sales, revenue, conversion. I look at the day before first, and then I look at the day before last year. How does that compare? Do we have more or less traffic? Is conversion up or down? Is revenue up or down? In the hotel space, the number of bookings can be up, but the revenue can be down if a particular sale is being run. So I look at those metrics. I'm prepared to share with my advertiser what happened, and if he has any direct questions, I'm prepared to answer those. So that's always important. I also take a look at it in the afternoon again, just to be sure that everything is progressing as it should be. I know at about 2 o'clock where I should be revenue-wise, where I should be booking-wise, and if that's not the case, again, I'm checking that website. I'm reaching out to the people that I need to reach out to. Also, as a side note, make very good friends with product managers and IT folks, because those are the people that know the pulse of what's going on with the website from a marketing perspective. So it helps. I've heard they like chocolates. Also, it's good to get a feel just overall for how the program should be going. Just keeping that pulse again, knowing what your average daily revenue looks like, how far off you are from that. But only checking it twice a day. I used to be very obsessive about it, and I would get very excited, especially when it's a brand new program that you've launched and you're waiting for that first sale, and just keep hitting refresh, because it becomes addictive. But then, 2 hours later, you've been hitting refresh and looking at product data all day, and it's not very good from a time management perspective.
Kim, do you want to talk about the tools that you
Sure.
use to
Sure.
help monitor everything?
Absolutely. So from an anomaly perspective, if there's new sales or sudden surges, you'll be able to pinpoint those as well, just from having that finger on the pulse. And some additional tools to help monitor whether it's an unethical lift or just a lift because a product surged in popularity that particular day. We have had experience using both Brand Verity, and the Search Monitor just to make sure that our trademarks, trademark plus terms, and any terms and conditions within the paid search policy are being followed as expected.
That's really helpful too, because I'll see a surge in sales and I'll go and I'll check my Search Monitor or Brand Verity reports and see if there's something going on that shouldn't be going on, and if that's the case, obviously address it with that affiliate or the network, whoever you're working with. And then if it's not, as a result of that, it could be a really great opportunity. Maybe they found a great product that works well on their site. Maybe they put it, visibility for your brand in a place that's going to be more successful. So it's just important to take a look at those spikes and act on them based on what you find.
And then the rest of that first hour is just spent kind of staying informed as to what's going on in the industry itself, checking the affiliate forums, checking in on the PMA, seeing if there are any updated podcasts that have been added to geekcast.fm. The more the safer you are. You know what to expect. If there's industry updates regarding tax changes, if someone has posted a particularly defamatory article that may say affiliate marketing is a scam, you're able to go in and add to that conversation, and that gives you visibility as an authority in the space as well. One of our dear friends, Tricia Meyer, actually came across that and then published a rebuttal, and that was pretty interesting. And I wouldn't have known if I hadn't taken that time each day to kind of just check everything for updates and whatnot. So it was good to be able to participate in that, be aware that it's going on, and be able to share it with other folks as well.
What was the podcast you mentioned?
It's actually geekcast.fm, and there's a bunch there. I think Sean Collins does 7 Minutes in Affiliate Heaven, and I think he does that on a weekly basis, and that's just 7 minutes of whatever has gone on that particular week. Lisa Piccarelli and Todd Farmer also do a podcast together, and same thing, but I think that goes on for about an hour. And I just put it on in the background and check the website and check the stats.
Okay, so we're going to move on to section 2, embracing time management. This is definitely one of the hardest things as affiliate managers, as we're all multitasking and seeing our days get crazy very quickly a lot of times.
Yeah, I'm kicking off this section. It's very near and dear to my heart. I am by no means an expert in time management, but I've picked up a few tips along the way, and actually a few things in preparing for this presentation that I'm going to start implementing myself, and hopefully will help me a bit more. So I know I'm going to raise my hand for this question, but how many of you out there are inbox warriors? So email comes in and you're ready to pounce instantly. Yeah, that's me too. It's a little addictive. I actually found out in reading an article that there is a little bit of an addiction that you can get from getting those emails in and getting those distractions. So what I often find, and I'm sure many of you see too, is you maybe make it to inbox 0, or maybe you make it to inbox, you have 140 emails left, which is usually what's standing in my email inbox about right now. But you get to that sense of accomplishment that you've answered all the emails in your inbox, and then you get to the end of the day and you said, what did I really accomplish today? Did I do the 2 or 3 things that I had set out to at the beginning of the day? And more often than not, you didn't, because you pretty much let that inbox dictate everything that you were doing. So what I have found, and actually I've talked to a few people even this week that spoke about how they really, really block off sections of time during the day to make sure that you are focusing on your key priorities and you're sticking to them. And one major advantage to this approach is that you are much more focused. I think that all of us are very used to multitasking, and there's some sort of a badge of honor of being able to do lots of things at once and accomplish the world. But multitasking is actually very, very detrimental to your productivity, and I'll tell you why. I found an interesting article that was published on Inc.com. I think it was actually a 2011 article, but still very relevant. And the title of it was called 7 Things Highly Productive People Do. So I recommend that you Google search this article. There's some good info in here. And they said that changing tasks more than 10 times a day results in an average IQ drop of 10 points, which is equivalent to losing a whole night's sleep. They actually compared it to a few other activities. They said that men, I think, lose 15 IQ points and women lose 5, so that's where the average is 10. So men tend to have a little bit of a harder time with multitasking, according to the study. I'm just going off facts that I read here. So, it's powerful information for me. I mean, if I'm not taking the time to focus on those activities, then I'm not the best and most effective version of myself that I can be. So what I learned from that and from a few other articles that I wanted to share with you is just some additional tips. You know, what Kim was mentioning, what Karen was mentioning, you know, section off time to check your email. Maybe your first activity is to check stats. Maybe your next activity is to check your email. Do it about 2 or 3 times per day. That way you're not leaving people hanging that expect a quick reply. You've got that frequency there, but you're also taking time to just have that quiet time to focus on your other activities. It's also important to make sure that you're focusing on tasks that make the biggest impact. I'm challenged from my managers on a regular basis to say, you know, if you were to pick 2 or 3 things that are going to accomplish your key goals for your channel, so for example, you know, hitting a certain revenue target by the end of the week, the end of the month, the end of the year, what would I tell them is really going to influence as like the 2 or 3 big rocks? And then I took a step back and said, is that what I'm really focusing on my time? You know, am I recruiting those affiliates that I need for the program? Am I really engaging my top performers? Am I focusing on those activities? And sometimes the answer is no, and so it's a matter of, you know, refining that process and making sure that you are keeping that focus. When you do have those time blocks, try to eliminate distractions. Again, we all want to be accessible for our affiliates and be a team player, but at times just, you know, put your phone down, put it on vibrate, turn off the instant messenger, close out the Skype, close down the emails so the little reminders don't pop up in the window every time a new email pops in, and just give yourself a concentrated hour, 90 minutes to focus, and you'll be amazed at what you can accomplish with that time. And to that point, there's actually some studies I read too that said that about every 60 to 90 minutes you should recharge. You should get up, you should walk away. You'll be able to think much more clearly if you give yourself a little bit of a brain break. That's one of those reasons why, you know, you get into a meeting for an hour or 90 minutes and you just feel completely burnt after that meeting's over. So just give yourself a chance to recharge.
Okay, tip 5 is keeping yourself organized. So as I mentioned a few minutes ago, we do as affiliate managers tend to be incredible multitaskers. It's just sort of the nature of the business. So we're going to just discuss some different ways that we stay organized, and we definitely encourage you to speak to other affiliate managers to see what they implement, because it's a matter of finding what works for you. So the first thing we suggest is creating and prioritizing an ongoing task list. So one of the things that I do is I have to admit I'm very bad about sticky notes. Somebody calls me, I've got a sticky note that's then slapped on my desk.
I do too.
A pile of papers, scrap notes. I mean, it gets crazy. So what I've done to organize myself is to basically do a brain dump, and I put everything onto one ongoing Word document. So if anything's in my head, if anything's on a scrap of paper, I write it all in one centralized location. These are all my open affiliate tasks, and as we all know, as much as we would love to finish our whole task list every day, it never happens. So what I've done is I color code my list, and I will basically I'll put anything new on there. If it's a priority item, I'll highlight it in yellow. If it's something that's in process, so for instance, I'm waiting for banners to come back from my merchant, I will have put in the request, and then I'm waiting for that. I'll color code that pink so that I know it's in process and I'm waiting for something. And then I make sure to deliver that stuff to the affiliates, and once everything's completely done, I will highlight it in green. So it still kind of keeps a record of what I was working on if I ever need to go back, but then I know it's completely done because I've given it a good old dark green color in the highlight. If you're the sort of person that likes to have a more traditional structured outline, a great piece of software out there is called Inspiration. And it allows you to actually build, you know, traditional outlines like you're outlining a speech or something. And the software, it's great because you can put main topics and then all sorts of subtopics in there. So all the things, like if you're working on affiliate projects, you can put all the individual tasks that you're waiting on or working on as subtopics, and then close those items up or open that section of your outline so you're not staring at this gigantic list, but you're just able to focus on that section of the work that you're doing at that time. So, and again, that software is called Inspiration. And it's got lots of other great tools too, where you can link in websites, documents and such as well. It's very cool. It's very easy to use. As your affiliate program grows, you might want to consider a contact management system. These usually take a little bit of time to learn, but they're very helpful. I use Goldmine. Another really popular one out there is called Salesforce. You've probably heard of that one. And basically what it does is it allows you to put all of your affiliate information in one place. So you can do all of your scheduling, you can make task lists for yourself, you can put all your affiliate contact info in. It records your emails so that they're in there as a record. Your phone calls, you can put notes in, any other additional notes. So what's wonderful about that is that you've got everything right there. And let's say you don't talk to an affiliate for another month, 3 months, a year, whatever it is, you can open up their section of your contact management system and see exactly what you requested last time, what you spoke about, what the opportunities were, and it's very easy to be prepared to work with them and move on with what's next. It's also great for any kind of customer service issues. So if you ever had an issue with an affiliate, you can put those notes in there. Let's say they were brand bidding, you'll know exactly when they were brand bidding last, that sort of thing, so that you can stay on top of what they're doing.
And to Karen's point about the, maintaining that to-do list, I live and die by my yellow legal pad. If something were to happen to that, I would be an absolute mess. I can't keep everything on the computer. I just have to have something that I physically touch, that I take my special orange, go O's, because I'm a Baltimore girl, highlighter, and just highlight off what I've accomplished. And then at the end of the day, I take like 30 seconds to look at it and say, go me. I did all of this today. Because I think it's important, as Karen said, that to-do list is just never going to end. So sometimes you have to take a moment to just pat yourself on the back and say, you know what, 5 things really needed to get done today, and I did them. So that's also important.
The next thing that we suggest is that you develop some kind of calendar of promotions and deadlines. It's really great, if possible, to plan your affiliate activities, what offers you're going to put out there a month in advance. I know it doesn't always happen, but it's really good practice. It'll take a lot of stress off of you. One of the things that I do is I spend about $5 every year. I go out and I get one of those giant blotter calendars from one of the office stores, and I put that up on my wall. All of my affiliate programs are color-coded on that wall, so I know exactly, just every day I just see it there. It's in front of me, I can't miss it. And I get busy, and all of a sudden I look at that and realize, oh my gosh, it's already Tuesday. I'm supposed to launch a weekend program, weekend sales offers, starting Thursday through Monday. That's marked right off of my calendar in orange. I better get rolling and hurry up and get all that stuff into the network and set up and tested. So I highly suggest that. As much as it's great to be electronic and have everything in front of you, sometimes it's those old school things like having a calendar in front of you that really also helps reinforce what's going on, and then you're not scrambling last minute to deal with some of these issues.
Yeah, in addition to the affiliate calendar and what upcoming promotions, I think especially for those of you who are the OPMs and the in-house, if you can build out 3 months, 6 months, what you or your retail partner is, or your merchant partner has coming up. We've talked about this in previous panels and discussions before, and it's really critical that you have that information way in advance, or at least as far in advance as you can get it, so that you can have those conversations with affiliates and say, all right, coming up in holiday, coming up in September, this is my biggest sales season time of the year. What are things that we can do to work together and make sure that your performance is strong, my visibility is there, and then put that into a calendar in advance, so you're not constantly, but you are regularly checking and making sure that you're keeping on top of all those opportunities to perform and to give your affiliates an opportunity to promote you more effectively.
Great. One of the other things that we also encourage are different types of documents to stay on top of your individual tasks. So, for instance, I mentioned creative requests a little while ago. I know that I request a lot of creatives in various sizes, and it gets confusing as to, like, okay, what did I ask for again? What have I not asked for? So I keep an ongoing Excel spreadsheet of those items, and it's just an easy checklist of what sizes I've requested, what's it for, when did I request it, what deadline I need the stuff back by. And then I also have a column for when I receive it back to confirm that I have put them into the networks and have tested to make sure that the offer is going to work for the affiliates before I push it out. One of the other lists that I keep is a vanity coupon code and exclusive deal list. It's another place where if you're handing out lots of offers left and right, it's easy to forget who you've handed things to or what the code is. I know for a lot of the merchants, you're able to use the same code year to year, so it's really handy to have all those in one place. I just keep an ongoing Excel spreadsheet with all of those coupon codes, which affiliates I've sent those to, and again, the dates that those offers are valid. It also helps me in the next year know what I did with affiliates last year, so I can also see what worked and what didn't. Another suggestion is a checklist to make sure that you've got all of your offers up in the networks. I see this a lot as a publisher. Especially if you're running your program in more than one network. It's easy to get sidetracked. So let's say you get everything into the one network, you get a phone call, a couple emails, and you're in the middle trying to get it into the other network, and you just get completely sidetracked. It's really, it's great to just have an easy, quick check off of, like, okay, I got all 5 banner sizes in my text link into the first network as well as the second network, so that you don't miss anything or mess up putting the links in.
So kicking off this particular slide actually expands on a few things that Karen was already saying. I don't actually use a contact management system. I manage my relationships with Word documents and Excel sheets, just what I have accessible to me. But same general concept. It's whatever works for you. But I think there's definitely some interesting information that you should make sure to have at your fingertips, because when they email you, when they call you, when you have that opportunity to have that conversation, it's important to have all of the information at your fingertips, as she said, so that you can quickly move into that conversation and not waste any time searching for information. So some of the information that I keep readily available at hand is, key contact details, email address, phone number, first name, last name, make sure you know who you're talking to. Preferred creative sizes. This actually is something that's really helpful too. If affiliates say, yeah, if you send me the creative sizes, then I'll be happy to run it for you. Then mark down what they are. Don't send them the whole creative suite. It shows that you're paying attention and that you care about that relationship. Also, it's important if you're working with certain publishers where you need to pay for visibility in a particular place, ask them what their top performing placements are. What areas of their site could be most successful with that particular program, and write that down. And that way, when you're negotiating or talking about new opportunities that come up, you can reference that list and say, wait, you're picking something off of an area that we didn't talk about was a top performing placement. Why are you recommending it? Maybe there's a legitimate reason, or maybe you've just saved yourself some money. So that's important to have at your fingertips as well. I have a Word document for every relationship that I have with an affiliate, and I keep track of when I talked to them last, what the ongoing conversation is, some of the follow-up points for the next time that I talk to them, and I just filter through, look for that Word document when I have my next call with them, and that's really helpful for me to be able to just pick that conversation back up. It's also important to write down if you've done a successful test or not so successful test. Maybe you tried to feature a particular type of product, like Under Armour men's gear works a lot better than women's, or items that are lower price point versus a brand new product that we've just released. Mark those things down so that when you're talking to them about what they might be interested in working with you on, that you're referencing what you know is already successful or things that probably just aren't worth your time. Also, and this is something, especially for those of you who are in-house, that I think could be particularly helpful is, there are a lot of resources that you may not realize are available to you. I mean, obviously, if your network support or your OPM support offers full service and you have an opportunity in the budget to leverage it, find out, really develop a good, clear plan of attack. What are they working on versus what you're working on, so that you can make sure that you're collectively accomplishing everything you want to accomplish, and, work with them where you can. The other thing that's really interesting is we have a call center that's actually we're in Baltimore, where our office is. And I've worked with the folks in our call center to say, when you're not on the phones, is there anybody that's in the call center that's interested in learning about affiliate marketing, that wants to maybe expand their skill set outside of what they're doing on a day-to-day basis in the call center? And I've had some opportunities where they are not on the phone, and then they help me look for sites. They're helping make sure that the visibility I have on certain affiliate sites is what it needs to be, and they're looking for opportunities. It's also a great, career growth opportunity for them to learn about the different parts of the e-com business. So if you have a call center that you can tap into, ask. The other thing that sometimes people think about and sometimes overlook is there's a lot of hungry interns out there, a lot of school kids that are out there looking for course credit. Take advantage of the opportunity to work with them. It's support for you, and it's career development for them, and will help them on their resume as they start to look for that next job. So it's important to check with your HR legal, make sure that there isn't any sort of a formal process, or if there is, what those steps are in order to get somebody up and running. And who knows, they may become your next new teammate that you'll be working with because they've done such a great job. So I know I talked a little bit earlier about making sure that you're focusing on those 2 to 3 big goals and you're blocking off time. And this is reiterating a point that you get in your routine, you've got your time that's blocked off, you figure out a good pace, but then you might just get caught up in that routine. I think it's important every so often to just take a step back and look at what you're doing on a daily basis, make sure you're refocusing on those most important activities, and make sure that they really are helping you achieve your goals and that they're making an impact. So one example is I was working on creative that I was putting together for affiliates in the US, and then there were affiliates in the UK that needed some different sizes, and some specific affiliates that were top performers that had their own. And then I also work outside of the affiliate program. I work on retargeting and display, so there are certain static banner sizes I was requesting for that, and it turned into this monster creative request list that my team, every time that we had a new program launch or new campaign, was just spitting out this massive file of various banner sizes. And while it was great, I had everything that any affiliate would ever want, what I was realizing is I was probably not spending their time wisely, and in turn my time in getting all those creative sizes uploaded. So one of the things that I did is I went back to the folks at the different networks that I work with, as well as my retargeting display vendor that I work with, and I said, what do you really need? What's performing well? I look at stats, see what sizes are actually being picked up, and then if there weren't ones, then I actually put that on the nice to have list, and if there was something really critical, a really big campaign, put that in there. But for the most part, what I found is when I really honed in on that really core creative set, the needs were met. And of course, if there's an affiliate that comes and says, I need this size, I'll get that put together right away. But just, that's just an example where I took a step back and said, I don't really need to be doing all that. So there's got to be a better and more efficient way to be doing it.
Also, your network should be able to provide you with some type of creative performance report.
Yep.
So use that data as well to make those decisions regarding creative sizes.
Another thing too is the time that you spend on growing affiliate relationships. Obviously, when you meet and you start to work with affiliates, it's very important that you provide them with support, that you answer all the key questions, that you give them the tools that they need to be successful. But in some cases, you may work with an affiliate and see that any above and beyond work that you're doing to proactively give them X, Y, and Z or build in additional placements really just isn't moving the needle. Maybe it's just the nature of their site. Maybe putting, just the standard promotions is something that keeps them humming along, and all that extra work that you put in is keeping things pretty much steady. And that's not a bad thing. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't still be available for them, because you absolutely should. But what it tells me in those cases is, I'm going to continue to support them and what they need, but I'm going to focus my attention on growing relationships and up-and-coming affiliates that I may not have been focusing on before. Or if one affiliate site is shifting their direction and how they're going to be promoting my products, and there's another site that can do more with me, it's just realizing that you can't be everyone or everything to everyone, and shifting your focus and working more with some affiliate partners and a little less with some others, depending on how the performance is going. So just be realistic, because I've got this list of, I don't know, like 50 affiliates that I've had great conversations with, and I've tried stuff with every one of them, and some of them, you know, some of them I probably will check in a little less frequently, but still make sure they have everything they need to move forward.
So we're moving into section 3. This is about ensuring long-term success.
So recruitment is probably the best thing about the job that I get to do every single day. I love it. I love finding the next hidden nugget site that's going to send a good amount of sales or move particular inventory of a hotelier or, you know, a merchant that just needs to sell a particular item. It's just really, I just enjoy it. Plus, it's a relationship building aspect that I've always loved. Everything that I've done has been customer service related in one case or another. So it's been nice to have that aspect of it within the affiliate management space. I know this says use 1 day a week, but this is actually something that I do on a daily basis. A lot of the times there can be fires that come up during the day and you say, oh, I've got this hour where I'd really love to do recruitment at this block of time, but then something happens and it gets pushed off. So if Friday comes and you haven't touched a recruitment list, then I would definitely say use that Friday, block off a good amount of time on your Friday to make sure that it gets touched. And that way, at least from an agency perspective, when I know I'm on a call with my client next week, they're going to want to know who I've been in touch with, who I've reached out to, what have been my recruitment efforts. So I don't use any sophisticated CRM. I love Excel, and that's kind of what I use. It's just a living, breathing Excel document, and it's a bunch of lists of sites, and then anything I can find out about that particular site. If there's a contact, first name and last name, if there's an email or phone number. Also, I use LinkedIn to find owners of different site URLs. So that's also a good tool to use when trying to find a contact of someone. And I also use similarsites.com. So if there are some folks that I know have been performing well for me, I plug in their URL, try to find some sites that are exactly the content that they are producing, because chances are that they're going to have traffic that's also interested in the products. I also use the link functionality in a Google search. So that's link : and then site URL of either myself or my competitors. So I know who's linking in and who I should be reaching out to tell them about the affiliate program itself.
Kim, can you say that one more time for everybody writing it down?
Sure. So it's link : and then either my site URL or my competitors, as well as similarsites.com. So the goal for me is to reach out. I have this monster list, right? And each day I email 5 new affiliates off that list, and then I also email 5 follow-ups that maybe I've touched or emailed initially a week before. I actually have a better response forwarding the original email that I sent to them as a follow-up and saying, I just wanted to make sure you receive this. If you're not interested, please let me know, but I'd love an opportunity to talk to you. And I get a greater response on the follow-up than I do the initial. Now, that does add up. It sounds really easy, right? 10 a day, but 10 a day is 50 a week, is 200 a month. So that's a really great reach out. And don't get discouraged. Not everybody's going to respond during the first day, but if you get a 15 to 20% response rate, even if it's no, and you get the chance to respond with, not a problem. Is there another opportunity we could maybe do together? Can we work on a CPC? Or do you have any other advertisement available? Something that works into a different type of relationship. Maybe it's not affiliate. Maybe it then becomes a third-party direct relationship instead. But pat yourself on the back for the fact that you're getting that particular response rate, and keep track of who's responded, who's joined the program, who hasn't, because that's also important. Not only having this monster to-do list, having this monster recruitment sheet, but seeing what's come and what's happened as a result of the work you're putting into it can be really rewarding.
Oops, sorry, wrong way. There we go. All right, tip number 9, make time for your affiliates. So I always say that affiliate marketing and affiliate management is really an art and a science. I think it's really easy to get caught up in all of the technical side, the management side of affiliate management. So running those reports, keeping up with your emails and setting up new offers and all of that stuff. So like Kim was saying, it's very important to also get out there. The art side is the getting out and talking to new people or talking to your affiliates directly. This is all a relationship building industry. So with that being said, one of the things that's important to do is to set goals for yourself. So I don't usually get to that many people in a day or a week. I would love to get there, Kim. That's fantastic. But I do set goals for how many new affiliates I want to speak to by the end of the week or by the end of the month. I look at some of our financial goals and our sales conversion goals, and I set goals that are higher than my comfort level, so it really makes me reach and go for it. And then through the month I kind of look at those and see if I'm hitting my goal numbers or not, or whether I know I need to buckle down and really find some time in my schedule to do additional recruiting, reaching out, getting new offers out there, that sort of thing. So I also sometimes will set goals on how many paid placements I want to negotiate in a given time period. Or if I'm in a coupon mood and I'm handing out lots of vanity coupons or exclusive offers, I'll set goals on how many folks I want to reach with that as well. So again, it reinvigorates me to make it to the end of my list or whatever. So I get more activity out of my time. I know that some affiliate managers are really good about doing this, dedicating part of their day for affiliate calls or dedicating a whole day. This is really ideal, to be able to dedicate a whole day to doing all of your calls to affiliates. So again, that's not been quite my style, but it's the sort of things that I'm trying to initiate myself. But before I talk to any affiliates, I always spend time looking at the affiliates' activities. So I will go right onto their website and prepare myself for that phone meeting. I will look at where my merchants are placed on their website, make sure that they're running the up-to-date logo for us, the copy is up to date, they're not running any weird old brands or offers that were from 2 years ago. I mean, you'll find all sorts of goodies if you take the step and take the time to look at how they're running you. So that's one of the first things I always talk to affiliates about is any of that little cleanup. I also always ask them for a tour of their website, or if I've been through their site before, ask them if there's anything new going on their end, because a lot of, especially the bigger affiliates, always have new development going on, new social campaigns, all sorts of things that you wouldn't necessarily know about if you're not using the site regularly. So don't be afraid to ask them about those things. The other thing is, when I'm reviewing a site before I talk to folks, I will look for any opportunities that I see on the site. So I'm not afraid to schmooze for a place on their site. So I'll be like, oh, I see you've got our competitors listed on this under this topic, and we're further down the list. What can we do to move above the fold and above our competitors? Is there any way you can move us further up so we're more visible? Or I see that you sometimes have some open space available. So if you're not selling all your paid placements, and I have a smaller merchant that can't necessarily afford paid placements, I'm not afraid to ask and say, hey, if you ever have remnant space in an email or something, can you just keep us in mind to fit them in when they can? And a lot of the affiliates, as you grow those relationships, will consider you as long as you have that strong relationship going on. So, so the more you look at the sites, the more that you'll have things that you can discuss during your call and be more productive. Let's see. And the most important thing, of course, is after you've taken all this time to meet with the affiliates, You guys always make promises to each other. You want to absolutely make sure you deliver on the promises. So if you're supposed to get somebody an offer by a certain deadline or a certain size creative, this is where keeping organized with your notes, like we talked about earlier, is just really essential. Make sure to deliver on everything, because it really creates trust with your relationships with your affiliates, and you want to be that go-to person they know that they can rely on if they're ever in a jam or they need something in a hurry or whatever. You can make it happen. Okay, and tip 10 is taking time to strategize. So this is really important, and again, it's hard because we're so busy in the day-to-day tasks that it's tough to sometimes be able to find time to strategize. What Amy was talking about earlier about finding a little bit of time to turn off all of your instant messengers and your email and your cell phone and all of that to just sit and focus and think about this from time to time is really great. I know one of the things that I do, I work at home. So I actually have 2 offices. I have one that's a more creative space, and it's actually my art studio, so I don't do a lot of work in there. But if I have to do writing, or I want to do some really good planning and thinking, from kind of a more creative space, I sometimes will take my laptop into that space just to have a change of location. To talk about and think about what sort of strategy we want to move forward with our merchants. So on the more technical side, with strategizing, it's really important to run your key reports every so often to compare to your previous years. So I look at my year-to-year monthly reports, usually at least once a week, and then monthly. So I will pull 3 to 5 years of data and keep it on not all at once. Hopefully you'll have this over time. You'll just keep adding to your reports each month. But we like to look at how the numbers are trending over those times. So you'll kind of see usually a sales cycle in that process, where there'll be some months that typically are a little bit lower than others. So you want to just be prepared with new offers and different things to push out to be able to boost those times. If you find that you're running behind your previous years, you want to try to figure out what's going on and how to improve on those numbers. So maybe you've got top performers that are not doing as much as they were the previous years. So running your publisher performance reports are really great for that. I always keep an eye on my top 25 publishers just to see who's moving up the ladder, who's moving down over that time period, maybe who's dropping off the top 25 list, and to see if there are any new players that are kind of moving their way up. So that's a great report to run, just to look at, how everybody's performing on that. Then I also run a report on all my joined publishers every so often. And this is really fascinating because you'll find all sorts of folks you never knew were joined to your program within that list. And so there's some tremendous opportunities within the list of publishers you already have. You may find that you've got some top performers in there that have signed up with your program and they used to work with you, or they're signed up and not doing much. So there's a gold mine of folks to get in touch with, and because you know that they're going to be able to perform if they step up their game with you. I also look for any up and coming affiliates. If anybody's got a high EPC ranking, I know that they're good at converting sales, even if they are slightly smaller. So that's a great indicator. And then almost every network has some kind of bar or star rating on how active their affiliates are, or how much money they are earning within the network. So again, that's another indicator. You can usually sort your reports by the bar rating or the star rating, and pull everybody up to the top. Whoever's got 3 or more stars, you'll see a lot of mid-tier performers that will be great opportunities for folks to talk to. So those are some of the trends that I look at. If your numbers are running too low on your monthly goals, you definitely want to think about what else you can do with the affiliates. So is it worth talking to a few more affiliates to run something special with a few individual affiliates? Another thing you can do is run some kind of short-term sale or coupon. So like a weekend offer or a short weekend holiday sort of offer. So if you're monitoring your numbers overall through the month and you see 1 week is kind of performing less than it was last year, or it doesn't seem like you're going to hit your monthly goal, you can always push out a new set of offers and encourage affiliates to pick up that sale. I do a lot of weekend sales. It's a lot of work, so that's the downside of it. But it's amazing how much your numbers can pick up when you push out a new offer. One of the things that I know is controversial is that some folks like to just send one email newsletter at the beginning of the month, and they're kind of afraid to bomb their affiliates with too many newsletters. I think it's okay to send additional newsletters throughout the month. Just make sure that you have something new to offer within that newsletter. So again, for a weekend sale or something like that, it's fine to talk to your affiliates, even in the group emails, several times a month. I tend to send 3 to 5 emails a month, but I always make sure there's good content, new offers, easy links for people to pick up to run with right from the email. One other thing to think about also is considering the timing of the promotions. We just wanted to remind you that affiliates pick up their links in different ways out of the networks. So some people are going in and traditionally searching for links. Some people are pulling them up from the email reminders or something that's gone out from a network, if there's coupons or whatever. And a lot of the big affiliates are automated, so they have some kind of automation system that get the links basically from the network to their system, and then they decide from there what they're going to do with those links. So you have to be a little bit strategic on how and when you're setting up your links, especially for things like the holiday weekend sales and such. Some affiliate managers love to put all of their links in at the beginning of every month. Just remember that if you do that, it's great for those big affiliates that are very organized and have the ability to schedule those offers to come up and go down in their site. But remember that a lot of the smaller affiliates are not that organized, and there are always folks that are scrambling for one more deal to put up for this weekend. So I do find that if you are super organized with putting out your offers very early, it's not a bad thing to send a reminder email blast right before the weekend, just to remind people that you are running a sale. And a lot of times you'll get last minute placements in emails and even front page placements on some of the medium-sized affiliates sites.
And don't be afraid to ask your network for help with regard to the key reports that Karen mentioned. There's a lot of opportunity for the network to step up and maybe help you with some automation processes, or tell you how their network API, can help automate some of that report for you, or even customize reports for you so that you can see with a click of a button how you did last year, 2 years ago, that kind of thing. So task them with that. You're paying them the network fees.
Okay, and our final thought for today is Rome wasn't built in a day. Being an affiliate manager is an amazing multitasking sort of position, and so it's something that you're going to constantly need to refine to stay on top of your game and push yourself and have great results. So we encourage you again to master the basics that we went over, and then continually to refine your process. You'll have a great experience. So with that, we can take a few questions. Please come up to the microphone if you have a question you'd like to ask, so that it's on the recording today. We also wanted to mention that we have our business cards up here, so feel free to come up and grab our cards. So if you ever have any questions, feel free to contact us. We also have a suggested schedule for your affiliate marketing day that encourages the 10 tips that we talked about and how to fit all that into a day. So we can send you a schedule like that and some of the other suggestions that we have talked about. So with that, are there any questions? Can you come to the microphone, please?
Hi.
Hi.
Working? Yeah, now.
Yep.
So hi, I'm Frank from W2 Mobile. We're running an affiliate program for mobile entertainment services. And regarding your tip number 1, I just want to ask, you said you log in every day and check everything, so shouldn't it be automated? So I, for example, use Pingdom just to see if the site's up and running. Maybe one of the other two have some nice automatic check script or program, whatever is doing those checks, and if so, it would be nice to share with us.
Sure. In my personal experience, there's just no other way other than eyeballing it for myself. So there's something to be said for typing in the URL and just physically seeing that all is well. I like automated things. They make my life easier, but sometimes automated things break. So just seeing it for myself, that gives me that peace of mind.
I think it's important too, with some of the reports or information that you would look for on a regular basis, you can absolutely have that information automated, sent to your inbox so that you can have that quick glance. But a lot of times, if you notice something that's different, you're going to need to log in anyway and investigate a little bit further. So I'd say it's probably a combination of both.
And I do all manual checks on my end as well. What other questions are there?
Hello, my name is Will. I run a financial network, and I have like 178 individual affiliates. And I was wondering, what's like the best way to motivate an affiliate? Because it seems like the reason they're an affiliate because they don't want a boss. So how can I get them to promote without being a boss to them?
I think the first step is knowing that you manage the program. You don't manage affiliates. They're going to do what they want to do when they want to do it. They're entrepreneurs, and they're the smartest marketers I've ever met. So it's going to be important to probably categorize the affiliates by type, content, and then even breaking it down further. Content, are they loyalty, content cashback, content coupon, content forum, content community, that kind of thing. And then targeting your marketing messages to them based on the type of affiliate they are. So the easier that you make their life, the more willing they will be to promote your particular product. And as Amy said prior, really working that relationship, knowing if, their wife is expecting or they have a dog. I mean, just mentioning that in the first sentence of the emails that you use to reach out to them kind of just cushions the blow of you asking them to do something, to get active, to promote a product. It is a relationship business, and just making the most of those relationships and putting that warm and fuzzy touch on there makes them more willing to promote. And of course, utilizing the fact that that they use a specific banner size and putting the code in that message to them for that banner size, just making their life easier.
Yeah, I mean, they get messages all the time from all different types of OPMs, agencies, merchants. I mean, one of the things that I hear on a regular basis from my affiliates is we were used to having a barrier between us and you, the end retailer, and didn't really know who you were. So it's establishing that trust. It's making sure that when you are communicating with them, you are being 100% relevant, like what's Kim saying, to categorize the information, and then to talk with them about what you can do for them. I mean, it's a statement that I usually say at the end of my conversations because I genuinely want to know, but it also kind of surprises a lot of affiliates to hear that, and they realize that you're invested in the relationship that you have with them, and they'll keep you top of mind. Now, obviously, too, a lot of affiliates, because they're in this business, are motivated by money. Is your commission rate a great commission rate? Are you structured in a way that's going to help reward them for the right activities, just making sure that you are competitive financially and you're also taking responsibility to help grow that relationship.
And affiliates love it when they can easily contact you. So when you're contacting them, it's really hard when there's only like a generic email. We love to actually see the person's name, a personal email address, and then if you're comfortable, give them your phone number and, other pertinent information like instant message, whatever ways you prefer to communicate. But don't be afraid to pick up the phone, say hi, ask them how their day is, that sort of thing. It's all about relationship building. What other questions? Do we have any others? We want to thank you for coming today to our session, and we just want to remind everyone to fill out their survey thingy. That's what it's called.
Yep. We love feedback.
We would love your feedback, and also there is a drawing every day that they're doing, so you could win a cool prize. So.
Yeah, it's randomly drawn to receive a networking plus pass for the next show, so good opportunity. And feel free to come up if you'd like to ask us any questions.
Absolutely. Thanks again, guys.
Thank you.